Final today in Orlando, 126-122. Blazers will advance and take on the Lakers in round one. The Grizzlies season comes to an end. Well, I think we got a glimpse of things to come for this team. This Blazers team is very good, better than their record, and the Grizzlies fought with them tooth and nail, and they did it without Jaren Jackson Jr. They did it without Justice Winslow and without Tyus Jones. You know, look, this team's got a really, really bright future.
But I mean, the positive side, we know we're right there, just some games away. We just, go back to work and just get ready for next season.
It was almost as if everything that the Grizzlies gained, during the last part of the regular season before the pandemic, they kind of lost in the bubble. I mean, they were healthy, they were trending in the right direction, they felt good about making the playoffs, and then they got to the bubble, guys got hurt, injuries started to pile up. They got off to that losing streak.
In the bubble, it was tough because we lost Tyus, we lost Justice, we lost Jaren, so we learned a bunch in that bubble. Even though that we didn't win that play-in game, but we were all pretty mad because that's a spot that we really wanted. I think it just gave us more, fuel to the fire this year.
The bubble proved that the Grizzlies weren't necessarily ready for what it took to get to the postseason at that point. And then once they understood that, that pretty much set the foundation for what they had to do coming into this season.
I think we were really focused. It just made us hungry. We knew we were so close to something so great, and we just kind of kept that in the back of our minds all year when we were practicing, when we were going over things, and especially in games, knowing the big picture. We took every game one step at a time, but at the same time, we knew we wanted to get to the playoffs.
You go into this season now, a lot of these predictions are coming out. They don't have you pegged playoff team again. Is that motivating for you?
It is motivating. I know for me it is, and I know it is for my teammates as well. We know what we have to do. Right now, our focus is on this training camp, preparing for the season, and at the end of the season, if we do the right things, we'll be in position to make playoffs.
I think for this team to be in the bubble and to go through the schedule they went through and to get right up to the verge of making the playoffs and not making it, and then you go home and you come right back here and the season's starting again and you're getting tested multiple times a day and there's health and safety rules and regulations and things to go through. I think that's a challenge for any team. There's one thing with Taylor Jenkins is he's going to be prepared. He's going to have a plan in place, whether it's on the court, off the court. He was uniquely suited to meet this challenge.
This year presents a lot of unique challenges, but we talked to the team at the beginning of the season. New challenges create new opportunities. Our goals are to develop every single day, be a competitive team that's playing, winning basketball day in and day out.
Even when the season started, you still had some hurdles in front of you. You had the injuries that impacted Ja Morant early on.
You're dealing with injuries left and right. Everybody was hurt. They would tweet out the injury report before the games, and there were so many people injured, it would take 2 tweets to list all the different injuries this team was going through.
Then you get to a situation where 2 weeks into your schedule, you have to be parked for another 2 weeks.
The team missed a couple weeks of games, had games canceled.
And I think through the first month and a half of the season, you had a dozen different starting lineups, you had a dozen different leading scorers, and you didn't know how these pieces were going to fit.
For this team to come in with high expectations, hoping to make the playoffs, all of a sudden you come in and there's so many things in front of you that kind of stop your path. It took a little bit of time for this team to sort of find their momentum.
Well, a 7-game road trip starting tonight against the Chicago Bulls.
The 7 games and an 11-day road trip was, looking at it, was pretty daunting because there's a lot of really good teams you have to play in this. You have back-to-backs, you're on the road, you're in different time zones. I think there was an afternoon game in the middle of it all.
Coach, you embark on the longest road trip in the Memphis era of the franchise. Was there any special message or conversation with the team going out on a road trip that is this long?
Obviously, address the fact that we're going on the road and we just got to embrace the road mentality. Focus on just each opportunity to get better. Don't worry about the length of the road trip. Just focus on one day at a time, one game at a time.
Looking at it from the outside, you would say, oh man, hopefully we get a couple of these. But this team really stepped up to the challenge.
Good find of Valanciunas, but he's picked up by Vucevic. Yes. And now on a cut, pretty play. Konchar with the rim run and the finish. Over the top, Morant with the slam. The Grizzlies with 33 assists, and they get the victory tonight, 126-115.
Joe, let's go get another one.
Look ahead. And a look ahead. Tillman. Jam! Grizzlies have come in to Fiserv Forum and served notice. They fear no one. The Grizzlies going to get a win in Milwaukee.
Well, now they have won the first two.
Roll Warriors, man. Dogs. Roll Warriors, baby.
They started winning these games on this road trip, and you think, whoa, well, you know, maybe we'll win 2, maybe we'll win 3, maybe we'll actually win most of these games on the road trip. And you get Jaren Jackson back.
We have all been waiting for this. Welcome back, Jaren Jackson Jr. He adds another dimension to this Grizzlies offense. Oh, he's been chomping at the bit 8 months. Chomping at the bit to play basketball.
Just seeing Jaren back, I think, was just a lift for this team. To happen in the middle of that road trip, just emotionally, I think it really helped this team out and helped them kind of find their way.
You knew going into that 2-game set with the Portland Trail Blazers that the Grizzlies had that matchup circled.
For this Grizz team, going to Portland and playing against the team that knocked them out of the playoffs a year ago in the bubble, they really had something to prove.
There was so much on the line. There was so much on the line in Orlando, and there's a lot on the line this season as well.
Hey. Playoff time. Hey.
It's playoff time now. I mean, now you're facing this team that's right above you. You got them 3 times this week.
They're going to see playoff atmosphere. They'll get a taste. They saw what it was like in the bubble last year. Again, you're going to see it up close and personal in these next games.
And Jaren Jackson corkscrewing in the lane in the lefty finish.
Defensively, they've done a good job of active with their hands.
Hands up, hands up. They're trying to whip out a pick and roll. It's got hands in the pick and roll. It's got hands off the ball. We're playing a lot of deflection. It's been great for us.
Grizzlies another deflection and a throw ahead to Dillon Brooks against Covington, and he jams.
Great first quarter, great activity on defense, and really good job with the pace. Keep embracing that mentality for 36 minutes after this right now. Activity, great hands in the pick and rolls, right? Rebounding, big, especially with Cantor right here. We're going to need a lot of bodies in there. Get stops and then get out and run.
Budding rivalry between the Grizzlies and the Portland Trail Blazers. High intensity, high stakes basketball in April.
The type of intensity that they're going to have to play with to finish out the season, because if you're going to be in a play-in situation, if you're going to be in the playoffs, whichever it happens, they're going to have to be used to what it takes to win those type of games.
This will be like a little playoff series. Yeah. So we play them 3 times in a week.
Lillard turns the corner and reverses it in, and Portland leads by 2. 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Dillon to the rim and in with the finger roll. Tied at 123. Lillard. And Dillon. Knock away. Grizzlies a chance for the lead. Morant drives, scoops, and scores! 125 to 123. Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over, and the Grizzlies win it 130 to 128. The Grizzlies have now won 7 of their last 10 on the road. They get a virtuoso performance from Ja Morant, 33 points and 13 assists. And Jaren Jackson Jr. coming off the bench with 23.
Welcome back.
This was a phenomenal game all around on both sides, from both teams. High level of competition, execution, big plays by individual performers.
We just had to, turn it up, man. We kind of, remember in the bubble, what happened to us. So we knew we owed them one, but we knew it wasn't going to be easy. So, just fighting to the very end, try to play all 48 minutes.
What do you need more of on Sunday when you face them again?
We know this team, man. We played them a lot, very talented. So we know it's not going to be easy, but we just got to come out and, play our type of basketball.
Picked up by Brooks. Grizzlies with numbers the other way, and Dillon and a shoulder by C.J. McCollum.
That's got to be a flagrant foul, man. That's not basketball.
And Dillon is hot.
That's not basketball at all.
As if Dillon doesn't play with enough of an edge, C.J. McCollum pokes the bear, or the duck in this case.
I was about to say, a little quack quack he poked in.
Well, you understand that this is a budding rivalry, given the fact that Portland knocked the Grizzlies out of the opportunity to get into the playoffs last year with that win. Lillard, blocked home by Dillon Brooks, and it's out of bounds. They'll review, but possession given to Portland. Powell triggers. Trying to get it to Nurkic, almost a 5-second count. Oh, a steal by Morant! Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over. Grizzlies take the season series from the Portland Trail Blazers. The final this afternoon at Moda Center, 120 to 113. Grizzlies now 31-28 on the season.
This is two great efforts by this Grizzlies team.
It felt playoff intensity in these 2 games against Portland. 2 games you enjoyed?
Yeah, I enjoyed it so much. You know, these games mean a lot. I don't think they thought that, you know, we were remembering in the bubble.
For a younger team, you look for motivation wherever you can get it. For a team that's in the middle of a long road trip, hoping to just kind of get through this thing, that little spell in Portland with 2 games in a row gave them something to play for and gave them something to aim for. And you saw it. You saw this team come out and show like they wanted to prove that they could play with this Portland team, that they were better than this Portland team.
Hey, we built for it, dog.
6 games to go. Road game today. Got to start today.
We know the schedule is what the schedule is, and it is very, very arduous for the Grizzlies.
The NBA schedule in a normal season can be pretty daunting and can be physically challenging for any team, for a healthy team. For this Grizzlies team to come back and after the All-Star break, they had, I think it was 40 games in 68 days.
The Grizzlies face the toughest schedule in the NBA. Not a lot of time for practice, not a lot of time to shoot around, not a lot of time to even recover. 4 games in 5 nights, 7 different weeks coming down the stretch run of the season. I don't think any team in the league faced a tougher challenge than that.
So many back-to-backs, no days off, no time to practice for the most part because you don't have time. You know, you have to have rest and you have to have recovery time. And for a team that's reincorporating Jaren Jackson Jr. into the rotation, it's having to come on the court during games.
Grizzlies, of course, tonight, they'll have Jaren Jackson Jr. in the starting lineup for the first time this season.
In that game, my body definitely was in tune with my mind. Everything was kind of in sync. I was getting my body in sync throughout all the games, but that game I just felt like I was really putting it together, doing some good things out there.
Raptors looking to run. Trent in transition, and Jaren blocks it out of bounds.
I had felt comfortable in games previously and games after, but you know that's definitely one where I just felt like I was locked in, and you know it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling.
And the Grizzlies will go to 34 and 33.
They'll walk out of this arena with a win, come back home, and hopefully be able to build on what they have done in this game tonight.
The schedule was as daunting overall as any opponent individually that they had to face. Now, once this team figured out how to win games at home, as they did coming down the stretch in the season, that 4-game home winning streak to end the regular season was key in terms of giving them the momentum.
Melton with a knockaway, hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Grizzlies trying to win their 3rd straight game here tonight.
Kyle's got the hot hand. On the deck again, and somehow put it in. Holy cow! They score 133 on the second night of a back-to-back without Valanciunas or Jackson or Grayson Allen. Grizzlies have now won 3 in a row and 4 of their last 5. A look ahead, Dylan Brooks to the rim, lays it in! And the Grizzlies have drawn even with Golden State for the 8th seed in the Western Conference.
Game 72, final game of the regular season. It's a lot of fun when game 72 means something, and this means something.
Hey, there are a lot of meaningful games going on in the association today, but none bigger than this game here. These 2 teams will fight for that 8th position so that you can just have to win 1 basketball game to make it into the playoffs, not dropping into the 9th or 10th seed where you have to win 2 games to get into the playoff series. So I'm expecting high octane, a great competitive basketball game.
Going out to Golden State, we had a lot of momentum going into that game. We actually started off the game great, had a big lead.
Morant drops it between his legs. Jackson a straightaway 3. Bring it up, put 3 on the board.
Golden State, I think at that time was the hottest team in the NBA. Steph Curry, hottest player in the NBA. So we knew it was going to be a fight. We didn't do enough in that game.
Curry with it, looking for the kill shot. Between the legs, step back, 30-footer. Yep, there it is. It'll be Warriors and Lakers, Grizzlies and Spurs.
That was a heck of a game. We learned a lot in that Sunday matinee. How are we gonna, if we get another opportunity against Golden State, how are we gonna be better prepared? As our guys have done all season long and the 2 years I've been here, the resiliency to not kind of let their guard down or be, deflated in a moment like that, which you could have. Our guys were focused on how we're going to go win the next game. Coming back home in front of our fans in a playoff atmosphere, a Game 7 atmosphere, to go up against San Antonio was huge.
We have a back against the wall attitude always. So when our back is really against the wall, that's when it really shows. And we really show resiliency and we really come together. So we knew when we came back here, it was really the fans. I mean, the fans just brought all the energy.
I got fans. I know they hype too. They got the towels out. We walked in, I was like, oh, this is lit. They've been waiting for this.
It is a beautiful sight looking down at all these seats covered in growl towels here at FedEx Forum. Capacity was raised to 40%, so over 7,000 fans can watch the Grizzlies live and in person tonight, try to continue their season. You lose tonight, the season ends. You win tonight, and the Grizzlies will move on to play and travel to the loser of the 7-8 play-in game between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors.
I'm super excited that they're in this position because I think this is a really good position for them to really understand how to meet the moment. Oh, this is not just another game. I mean, we have to go out here as win or die. It's win or go home. And so I hope they come out with that attitude tonight.
Johnson in traffic, loses the handle, taken by Brooks. Brooks, center of the lane, get out of the way! Right-handed hammer as Murray scampers to the sideline. Brooks throws it home, and the Grizzlies are up 18-4. Hey! Long rebound. Jackson takes it away from Walker, out to Morant. Deep three, bring it up. Put 3 on the board. Greg Popovich needs another timeout. 5:57 remaining. The Grizzlies are hustling, they're shooting, they're defending, and they are cruising right now.
We up 17 just like that.
A lot of fun in the first 12 minutes for the Grizzlies. Not so much fun in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. Spurs charge back in after trailing by as many as 21. The Grizzlies with 12 minutes between them and a Friday night matchup with either Golden State or the Los Angeles Lakers, but they must hold off this San Antonio charge.
It was the largest crowd we'd had at home all season at that point. It was the first time it really felt like kind of the old days. The crowd was really into it and rocking, and FedEx Forum felt like the place to be that night.
Morant around a Valanciunas screen. Grizzlies lead by 2. Morant jumps it right corner. Anderson, 3 on the way is good. Kyle Anderson with a monster right corner triple. Morant loses his defender, goes to the rim, lays it up and in around Pirtle. John Morant with a great hesitation move gets the bucket. Morant, one dribble, sets, fires, bingo. That's the ball game. The Grizzlies are going to Friday. What a night it was for the Grizzlies. 0's on the clock. Streamers come up on the Jumbotron.
Just a fantastic win for this franchise. These young guys stepped up and met the moment.
Yo, Cali, baby. Yo, Cali. Get it. Together on 3, 30 on 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Go by 6. Yeah.